So how many times have you heard the verb set? It may not be the most common English verb, it's certainly not like make, get or do. However, we can still make lots of phrasal verbs with this short but useful verb. So I think you're going to find that you can quickly start using these phrasal verbs with set. They are a little bit more advanced, but they are definitely used on a daily basis. I'm Sabrah from Love English, your British University English teacher. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and you can also follow us on our social media. So number one is the most common one, and this is to set off, which means to leave or to go somewhere. Quite often we use this for longer journeys, because if I'm just popping to the shop to pick up some bread, I won't say, right, I'll set off now. Set off implies that a longer journey is coming. However, if we're travelling a couple of hours or taking a flight, a train somewhere, we can say set off. So we might say, okay, we need to catch our plane at 8 o'clock in the morning, so we need to set off by 5 a.m. to make sure we're there in time. Or you might say, shall we set off for the walk now then? Meaning, shall we leave, shall we start now? And this implies that it's going to be a longer walk, a longer period of time. If you're leaving for work, you can say you're setting off, but again, it suggests that your work is further away. Now, this is English, so this phrasal verb does have a second meaning, and even really a third meaning in a way. If we set something off, we can also make it ring, or we can make it explode. So we can actually say that we set off a bomb. We might say the terrorists set off the bomb, meaning they started the bomb. Or if we cause an alarm to go off, we can say that something set off the alarm. You can also use it in a more general sense, meaning to instigate, to make something happen. So we might say, for example, the Wall Street crash set off a chain of events which led to the Great Depression. If you know your history, you'll know what that is about. But here it means instigated, began. Number two, set in. When something sets in, it gets a grip on something, it gets a hold on something. Usually this is unpleasant. For example, we might say, the winter is really set in, meaning the winter has really taken hold of the climate, and it probably will stick around for a while. It probably will be like this for a while. It's set in. And we can also use this for things like bad moods, depression, illnesses. If it's began and doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, we can say it is set in. Not a very positive phrasal verb, but it certainly is used. Number three, set apart. Now, if something or someone is set apart, it is distinguished from the others in some way. It is better or more special. So we would say it's in a category of its own almost if it's set apart. So an example might be, his experience at NASA really set him apart from the other candidates. This means it made him better in some way, superior than the others, and so in a category of his own. So we can also use it when something is set apart, meaning kept separate for a special purpose. So we might say, this area of the university has been set apart just for the students. Number four, set out. Again, there are a couple of meanings for this phrasal verb. Many phrasal verbs, as you're probably already familiar, have multiple meanings, and this is one of them. So to set out can also mean to leave for a long journey. To leave, so we can say we're setting out at dawn, for example, meaning we're leaving for a long journey. So in that case, it's really a synonym of set off. However, if we say we set out to do something, it can mean we intend to accomplish or we intend to achieve something. So for example, we might say, the principal of the school set out to make his grammar school the best one in England. Here it means he intended, he began plans, this kind of thing. So to set out, to intend, to wish to accomplish something. The third meaning, yes, there is a third one, is to lay out, show or display. So if we say somebody is going to set out the plans or somebody is going to set out a presentation, it means they're going to explain, show, display. We use this a lot actually in the business context. So we might say, the CEO is going to set out his plans for the company for the coming year. Or we might say, when the building plans were set out, I really began to understand how everything will work. So useful phrasal verb, you can use it in many contexts. Number 5 is set on, to be set on something. And if we're set on something, we're decided or we're fixed on that thing. It's something that we really want. So we could say he's really set on becoming an actor. This means he's decided that he wants to become an actor. He's fixed on this. It's difficult to make him change his mind. So we might say he's set on becoming an actor, even though his parents are against it. Or Leila and Sabrah are set on reaching 1 million subscribers. Yes, we are. We won't give up until we reach that. So we're fixed on that. Are you set on something or set on becoming something? If you are, tell us about that in the comments below. Try to use this one as an example. Number 6 is setback. And this can be used as a noun or a verb. So we can say a setback and push the two words together, or to be set back and use it as the phrasal verb. So to be set back means to be delayed. There has been an issue with something that is preventing something moving forwards. So we could always say there was a lot of setbacks, or we were set back a lot when we were starting up the business because we needed money, we needed to find premises, and there was issues with all these things. So there were a lot of setbacks. So for example, we might say, the bad weather has set back the building works as the builders have not been able to get their work done in the storms. Now you can also use this phrasal verb to mean set back financially, meaning that something you had to spend a lot of money on has taken your balance backwards, meaning taken your balance downwards. So for example, we might say the engagement ring that Andy bought for his girlfriend must have set him back a couple of £1,000s. That's right, guys, I got engaged at Christmas to my partner. We're very excited. I'll tell you more in due course about the wedding when we have plans about that. But yes, I did get engaged. Number 7, this is probably quite an easy one. Number 7 is to set something up or to set up something, transitive and intransitive. Now you've probably heard of this one before. It means to start or begin, open some kind of business or organisation. So you might say she set up the first charity to help with gender equality, for example. Or we're setting up a business. Leila and Sabrah set up Love English 3 years ago now. So to open, start, begin an organisation or business. Number 8, set aside. Now this is quite similar to one of the meanings of set apart, but I would say it's much more frequently used. If something is set aside, it means put aside for a certain purpose, for a particular time period, but it's got a special purpose and it shouldn't be used now. So we might say, I've set aside the good cutlery for when we have special guests. Or most parents set aside some money for their children's university fees or for their wedding. Number 9 is set about. Set about. And if we set about, it means that we start doing something. It's very general, actually. So we might say she set about doing the housework, or he set about doing the shopping. It means begin activities on that. So here's an example sentence. The teenagers set about cleaning up the house before their parents arrived home. Number 10 is set to, and it's very similar in meaning to set about. But it's more with enthusiasm, to begin something happily or with enjoyment. So if you say they set to cleaning the house or they set to decorating the house, they did this with enthusiasm. It's something they really wanted to do. Normally we just use it with a verb, like they set to work or they set to making dinner. We're sure our students are set to improve their English in 2020. We're sure you guys are going about that with enthusiasm. Okay everyone, they were our 10 phrasal verbs with set. Do try and use any of those in the comments below in a sentence and I will check that for you. We'll see you soon on Love English. Bye bye!